Look at humanity. On one hand, we engineer miracles that touch the stars. On the other, we orchestrate devastation that leaves whole cities in ashes. We are a creature of extreme contrasts. The usual explanation for this is that we're simply the apex predator, the most highly evolved animal sitting at the top of a biological food chain. But that doesn't fully explain the massive extremes in our behavior. Surah At-Tin offers a completely different starting point. It argues that we don't begin as animals at all. Instead, it states we are created in what the text calls the best of stature. This baseline condition is known as fitra. It's an innate, upright spiritual nature. We are born pure, naturally calibrated to recognize truth and build toward perfection. Before the surah lays out the reality of this nature, it sets a deliberate frame. It opens by swearing an oath on 4 physical markers: the fig, the olive, Mount Sinai, and the secure city of Makkah. We can see these oaths right here in the translation of the first 3 verses. These aren't random landmarks. They are historic, physical anchors, places deeply tied to divine revelation, prophetic legacies, and the spiritual emergence of humanity. This elevated, pure starting point creates a unique danger, the potential for a sheer, deadly vertical drop. The best of stature describes a wondrous, complex spiritual makeup that transcends our physical biology. The core of that spiritual machinery is human agency. Unlike other parts of creation, we aren't pre-programmed to follow a single track. We have the ability to consciously choose our path. To understand the sheer scale of this potential, look at the story of the Miraj. While the Archangel Gabriel had to stop at a fixed boundary, the Prophet Muhammad, a human being, was permitted to ascend to a station that slides completely past the closest angels, reaching the absolute highest point. Because angels don't possess free will, their rank is static. They remain exactly where they were created. Human agency, however, allows for infinite vertical elevation. Because we possess the unique freedom to actively drive our own ascent, we are also the only creatures capable of throwing ourselves completely off the axis. That agency has a dark side. When a person decides to detach from their upright nature and ignore the guidance set before them, the descent begins. The text delivers a stark verdict on this detachment. Looking at the exact phrasing of verse 5, we see the inevitable result. Then we returned him to the lowest of the low. It's tempting to say that a corrupted human reverts to an animal state, but even that isn't accurate. Animals naturally follow their innate programming. They fulfill their function on Earth exactly as intended. A corrupted human actually falls below the beasts. An animal never consciously rejects its creator. It simply acts on instinct. The ultimate end state of this fall is the total obliteration of a person's humanity. Whatever made them uniquely human shatters entirely, leaving only a purely base entity plummeting into total darkness. The rule is brutally simple. The more powerful the spiritual engine you are given, the deeper and more devastating the crater you create when you deliberately crash it. So how do you arrest this terrifying freefall? The surah provides a single exception: those who believe and do righteous deeds. The surah presents faith and action as a physical cord, a lifeline stretched taut between our fitra and our originator, pulling us upward against the world's drag. If you don't actively hold this cord, you don't stay in place. Default gravity automatically sweeps you downward. This brings us to the surah's closing question. Look at this text breaking down the 2 natural ends of humanity. One path maintains uprightness and reaches perfection, while the other deviates to a pit of torment. It asks, is not Allah the wisest of judges? If 2 peoples start with the exact same elevated nature, but one exerts the effort to climb, while the other severs the cord and surrenders to gravity, ultimate justice demands entirely different fates. Human existence is never a static condition.